The story of the Shattered Grid is across timelines and the multiverse. If you haven't seen the first part, I recommend you to look for this video in our channel so you can better understand the story. Also, if you don't know who Lord Drakkon is, you can look up his story on our channel and this will help you connect better with this story of the Shattered Grid. From now on I will give spoilers from the previous video. Previously we could see how Lord Drakkon was able to free himself from his confinement, and in search of power he managed to repair his coin and search for the green chaos crystal. He then ran Tommy through with the sword to charge the crystal with energy. Despite Kimberly and Jen's efforts, Lord Drakkon managed to escape, and Tommy died. Now Zordon gathers the other Rangers in the command center, and they all watch as Alpha covers Tommy with energy. The Rangers think that Tommy is still alive, and that Alpha is just trying to save him. At that moment, Zordon tells the Rangers that Tommy was dead. Each Ranger had a different reaction, and they didn't know what they were going to do with the body. In the end, they decide to leave him in the same place where he died so that the police could find him, and his mother could mourn his death. Several days later they have a funeral to say goodbye to Tommy, and we can see how Jason is suffering a lot. At that moment, Alpha warns that Jen had woken up since after the fight with Drakkon she had been unconscious for several days. When Jen wakes up, she explains to the Rangers who she was and where she comes from. She also explains to them what happened in her time and shows them something very important. Jen teaches the Rangers that they inspired more Rangers for many years and explains what the timeline of all the Rangers was like. Because of the event that had started with Tommy's death, the Morphin grid had tried to protect itself and changed the timeline and locked each Ranger team into a kind of pocket universe so as not to create paradoxes. She also explains that the rift she saw in her time started in this time with Tommy's death, as that is like a small fracture that over time gets bigger until it breaks, just as it happened in the future. Kimberly presents the idea of traveling to the past to stop Lord Drakkon from killing Tommy, but Jen tells her that she can no longer travel to the past because of the rift and that everything from the past is now sealed. In the Samurai Rangers Pocket Universe, Lauren is practicing new moves, and at that moment Lord Drakkon arrives with a large army. The Samurai Rangers do not know who they are and feel confident as they have symbols of power that protect the house, but this was not enough, and Lord Drakkon manages to break through the shields. The Rangers begin to fight against the army and defend their house, but despite all the effort, the army manages to defeat them and take away their morphers. Lauren the Red Ranger manages to escape with the help of the Blue Ranger, and Lord Drakkon gives the order to look for her. In the midst of this chaos, Jen realizes that all this is happening, and thanks to Billy and Trini, they manage to repair and change certain things in the Black Dragon. Alpha was able to send them to that universe of the Samurai Rangers to help with the situation. The moment they arrive they notice the army and Zack wants to attack, but Jason tells him that they should be smart since that army managed to wipe out a team of Rangers. Jen realizes that there was one more Ranger and they manage to save Lauren before the army takes her out. Elsewhere, Drakkon is working with Finster on his new plan, a combination of the morphers he took from the Samurai Rangers. Although Finster was unsure, Lord Drakkon told him to start the process and, in the end, they achieved the result they wanted. Drakkon was filled with more power than before and with a new transformation. For this process they only needed one morpher, and Finster didn't know if they had to use all the other morphers of the samurai, but Drakkon tells him that thanks to Ninja he could understand that he doesn't need all the morphers, but one of each kind. The other morphers that are left over will be used with the whole army. The moment the Samurai Rangers fell, Zordon uses part of his reserve power to summon a meeting with the three emissaries. By using his remaining power, Zordon will no longer be able to join the Morphin grid when he dies. After calling the meeting, the three emissaries arrive and Zordon begins to talk to them about the threat Lord Drakkon poses to everyone. Zordon asks them to talk to the Morphin Masters to disconnect Lord Drakkon from his power. The three emissaries tell Zordon that the Morphin Masters cannot get involved in human problems and cannot decide the fate of worlds. Zordon at that moment shows them all the achievements the Rangers have made and the great struggles they have gone through, as they have been warriors who have fought with courage and kindness. He also shows them how the Tommy Oliver from another dimension became Lord Drakkon and how he was affecting all the other dimensions with armies and death. Even with all that Zordon showed them, the emissaries thought that these problems were just a grain of sand and Zordon was seeing them as a mountain. They thought that the Rangers were going to be able to solve this problem alone and that the Morphin Masters did not have to be involved. Zordon pleads with them one last time, but they just tell Zordon that they were waiting for the day when he would join them in the Morphin grid, but now it is not going to be possible because he used his remaining power to call that meeting. After sending Zordon back, the three emissaries begin to dialogue and doubt if they made a good decision or if it was a mistake, since Zordon is a great sage who would never play with these delicate issues. Now we have Lord Drakkon invading all possible realities to conquer the morphers of all the Rangers, but we will see that in a future video.